Alright, here's how you make the aluminum squares for the swivel on this. So you just get an aluminum can, a pair of scissors that you're not too worried about if they get mapped out. Now you want to be careful at this point because you don't want to, the edges are kind of sharp on this and you don't want to hurt yourself. I'm going to cut over here. So just, now this is a shorter aluminum can. With a regular size aluminum can, you're going to get a lot more. We just cut it open and then make strips. I would say maybe 1.5 centimeters square, roughly. They don't have to be perfect. And then just sometimes what I'll do, if I have the time, I'll just kind of nip the corners off. Then you just don't have to worry about students, poking their fingers with that. And then that's how you get those prepared. And then in a moment, I'll show you how you poke the, well, actually just poke the hole in them with a push pin. And I recommend when you do that, that you put the ink printed side down and poke the hole this way. That way when you're working with your students, you always tell them, put the ink side towards the tape. All right, we'll cut here. Okay, here's how you put together the steam engine, the aluminum can steam engine. So you've got all the parts right here. We've got the duct tape that I've got cut into about the right size, 4 pieces, piece of masking tape. I've got a pin, an aluminum square that I've cut from a can, and I always have it so that when I poke the hole through it, I poke it through the inside of the can so that the painted side is where the metal is sticking out. That way when the kids are working on the lab, I always tell them put the painted side onto this tape. That up, and here we go. So step number 1 is to make the nozzles. And my directions show you very clearly how to do that. This can's already got the nozzles in it, but what I like to do, not quite, a little bit below halfway, you push the pin in, and then you push it away from me, because that way it makes it from just a regular hole into a slight nozzle. And when you pull out the pin, it should be a little bit difficult. Then I like to turn it over, so I go exactly opposite, stick the pin in, and then push the pin away, always pushing it away from you. This way when the steam comes out, they'll all be going in the same direction. So at this point, we've got holes here and here, and then I like to do 4 holes. Now that could be a variable in your lab as you do different number of holes or different sizes, but I find this works best. Again, when you push the pin in, stick it in, push it away from you, and you should fill a little nozzle. And then lastly, right over here, you'll push the pin in there, and then turn it away. I like the pins to be the smallest diameter pins. If you get too big, I think that it may not spin as well. Also, you've got to be careful that you don't tear the side of the aluminum can when you're working on it. So that's the first step. So you get that done. And I usually have the students, one student doing this and another student getting 15 milliliters of water. And we're going to pour the water in. 15 milliliters about right, because if you get more than that, it takes a little too long to heat up. And if you get less than that, the can won't spin that long. Now that we got the water in there, the next step is to put the styrofoam cup over, and you want to push it down until you see it begin to bulge just a little bit there, and you want to make sure you get it on there nice and straight. You don't want to crack or break the cup. So we've got that sealed. Make sure that we got the water in there. We do. Now we're going to use the duct tape to just reinforce this, making sure that if your nozzles are high, that you don't cover up the nozzles, and you want to scratch that duct tape on there. And this just helps keep the top on. If you heat it up too fast with the Bunsen burner, if it's set too high, very often this stuff just melts right off. But if you get it just set right, this really helps keep the top on. And usually the students need to have a pair of scissors because they can't tear that themselves. So we've got that on there. Now the next step is to make the swivel. And we do that with the tape. So you want to get the tape and turn it upside down so the sticky side is up. And then you're going to get the aluminum square. And I like this, like I said, I like the painted side goes down right dead center in the middle, like this. And then you get your pin and you want to poke a hole through. You want to get all this stuff out of here. So I'm trying to get all the material out of there. And, oh, I forgot to grab a pencil. We're going to pause for a second. All right, now I think using an old-fashioned sharpened wood pencil sharpened is the best, but you can use a mechanical pencil. And what you do is you just want to get some of the graphite in there to help get the tape away from the hole, and also the graphite helps lubricate, makes it spin a little bit better. But you just be careful that when in the process of doing this, that the students don't make this hole bigger, because the next step is you need to put the pin through here, and the pin needs to fit in there, and you do a quick test, and that spins real easy, so that's good. Now with the pencil, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick this up here right now, just so we don't poke ourselves. Now what you got to do is you got to get this set right over the top, because this is going to be our swivel, and this is probably the second most important part of this activity. Getting those nozzles nicely made is real important. I recommend that when your students do it is maybe have the students bring it up and let you do a quick check of the nozzles, and then always double check to make sure they got their stuff in. Now when I turn it sideways like this, if you take a look, this doesn't, that doesn't quite look like it's not parallel, so you need to adjust it. They need to make sure that this part, that they do get a good attachment on there. Of course it helps when they've got a whole bunch of hands holding everything. And that's almost there. It's not quite. It's still a little lopsided. I think that's going to be pretty good. Now when you hold this like that, you give it a quick turn and see how easily it spins? So that's what you want it to do. Now at this point, once it spins real freely, have them with their fingernail just scratch the tape because that just helps make it stick really well. And at this point, we're ready to take it to a Bunsen burner set on fairly low. We'll see the video how they do that. So there we go. We're ready to get our Heroengines spin. All right, for the lab, I get all the stuff set up so that the students can walk over, get each of their materials, and then walk off to their desk. Whoops, forgot. You got to have scissors, or this is really tough. There they are, getting the stuff. Okay, kind of get it set up so they can go in a flow.
Not quite parallel.
You got water in it?
Yes.
Excellent.
Wait, Miss.
Now you guys got water in your can?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, did we do this right?
Poke the hole in there and then use a pencil to lightly get all the stickum out, and use that graphite as a Okay, this one right here we got a little bit of problems with. I think between the top not being on real tight, I'm trying to adjust it here, and I think I may have made that Bunsen burner a little too big for these guys, unless I'm assuming they didn't come and adjust it after I did. That's the big question. Okay, there they got one going right there.
Oh, there you go.
And spinning real well. Now, I'm going to adjust. You just keep doing that. I'm just going to adjust a little bit more flame. So it's going spinning really well. They're going to do this switch off. So look at that. Oh, we should mount this camera onto one of these. Here, let me set it on top here, okay? Make sure you get it centered on there, Jessica. There you go. Good. Somebody else need me to light a Bunsen burner for you?
I can hear it.
You hear it sizzling?
Should we spin it?
What does it look like at the bottom of the can? Look at that shot. See, there's a shot you never really get. Okay, down below, looking
Oh,
up.
it's hot.
That's weird. So you heat up, hearing steam. And you know what? Move your can over here for a moment. Move it over here. Set it down. Set it down. I think your top kind of there. Now let's try it again. And wait. Let me adjust this Bunsen burner. I think I made it too hot for you. Got to be careful. The Bunsen burner can't be too hot. Let's try that. Or it may melt the can. And I think I might have gotten this one a little too hot for them. Let's see. Good enough. You can see the steam. Nice job. Don't look at me, okay? So I can keep filling. Nice job there. Look at that going. That looks like Orange Crush or something. Very nice job, ladies. Look at that thing going. Way cool. Nicely done. Sometimes when you're working with the students, the tops, you gotta set them on the counter and push the top back on. You can do that usually. Lift it up just a little bit. There you go. Right about there.
And hopefully we'll see. All right, they got theirs well made. We got some really good unbalanced horses working there. And good guy, you guys. You got all your safety goggles on. Look at this. This is proof that girls rule, right, girls? Huh? All right, look at that. That thing is spinning like crazy. Let's see if we can get the shot from up there. Look at that thing going. Very nice job. Oh, and it just popped. A little tiny pop. Okay, girls, put it in the sink to cool it off. Turn on the water. Good. Turn off the Bunsen burner without burning your hair. And check that out. Did you see how that imploded? That's just because the air struck. We'll do a lap where we do that later. All right. Well done. Excellent. There it goes. Trying. Okay, we move this over here. Here's one of those adjustments. Okay, set it down. I think the top, I'm just pushing the top down. Yeah, I can tell. Okay, now put it back on there. The top didn't get, it came up. So there we go. Now that it's sealed, there you go. No magic. They're not making it. It's not magic. What is it, guys?
It's science.
That's right. Okay, cool. And that one there, and I think you're starting to leak on there, so I don't think you're going to get that really super fast one. All right, pull it over and push the top on again if you guys, oh, there it goes, it's going. Let's do it. Should I turn up the heat, guys?
Yeah.
Let's turn up the heat, okay? Let's turn the heat up and see what this thing does. Let's get some BTUs going there. Oh, it's starting to go. It's probably going to pop. It's going faster and faster and faster. Whoa, cool! We just heard it pop, so it is done. But it was worth it, right, guys? Look at that thing spinning. Okay, go ahead and tell it. Let's first cool it off. Now watch this. Stick it in there. Don't burn yourself on the flame. Watch what happens when you cool that. And it kind of starts to shrink. Okay? All right, now reach over there, Cyrus, and turn off that Bunsen burner. Anyway, just